All right, boys.
Yes, sir.
Another great weekend of football. Really good slate, as I said. There's no such thing as subpar weekends, but there are such things as elite weekends with just, more matchups than The Bachelor mixed with The Bachelorette. Even the old guy now, the Golden Bachelor.
Oh, the Golden.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I thought that was the guy who's like, keep telling me to buy gold. For a second. I was like, this guy's made it, man.
I thought it was William Devane.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's made it through the rain.
For sure. I can't wait to not watch that. But I'm going to be apt just being a football coma this weekend. But we got football tonight.
Separation Saturday this week.
Separation Saturday. I like that.
Wow.
That's genius, David. You should coin that.
Saturday.
You should coin that.
It's copyrighted by Credit
T-shirt?
Company.
T-shirt?
T-shirt.
Well, we'll see.
Pat.
Love it. Alabama escapes South Florida with more questions surrounding the quarterback position. The Giants come back from down 21 points to beat the Cardinals, but they watch Saquon Barkley limp off the field again. And Angel star Shohei Ohtani has been shut down for the season, kind of like the Angels every year. I'm Jake Crane, and welcome to Crane & Company. Now, I had a monologue written and prepared to talk about Alabama's quarterback problems and the issues of diagnosing things with their offensive line mixed with the injuries and the bad weather. But, I want to, again, we're always going to keep it real here at Crane & Company with you guys. That's how we help you win the water cooler to the best of our abilities. And the truth is that Alabama's just unrecognizable right now. Like, I look at Alabama since Saban has taken over, and I'm not talking about the first year, where they lost to La Monroe and he was having to turn everything around. But when I watch Alabama, I don't have that same feeling of almost feeling sorry for the other team. And there's a couple things out there that I do want to address when it comes to Alabama that I've seen from people that I respect a ton, that I know what they're talking about, but I kind of disagree with on some things. But the thing that separated Alabama from everybody else when they really had this thing cooking wasn't just that they had a monopoly on the offensive line and the defensive line. I think we can all agree with that. It wasn't just that they were bringing in incredible skill players. It's that they had those things mixed with incredible football IQ. They were not only bigger and faster than you were, they were smarter than you were. They were more disciplined than you were. They understood the circumstances and they were present where their feet were more than you were. Now, I'm not saying that a bunch of astrophysicists on the team. I'm talking about from a football IQ standpoint. And when you go back and you watch the tape, Alabama struggles with the fundamental things that you have to do to win games. We always say on the show, most teams lose games, they don't win them. Whether it's making bad decisions on muff punts, whether it's not being able to get the snap off, whether it's controllable penalties, mixed with the talent fluctuation that we've seen up front with the rest of college football catching up to them. That's probably the most surprising part. But I do want to address something that I've seen when we talk about that there's a problem in the locker room and Alabama's players aren't playing hard or they're not giving effort. Okay, this isn't basketball or this isn't baseball. If you go out there and don't give effort, you are about to physically get your ass kicked. Like, what are you just going to run around and let people run over you? Or let somebody just olay somebody to go destroy somebody? Like, this isn't a movie. This isn't The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, where he pissed off all the other inmates that are playing against the guards. Football has physical consequences for things like that, and that's just not really something that happens. You can play bad. You can not be ready to play. But giving effort and putting yourself in harm's way and putting your teammates in harm's way because of whatever reason, it really doesn't happen in this sport like it happens in other ones. A lot of it is a focus problem. And apparently, if that's the case, to quote my brother, nobody told the defense. Like, apparently, if that was the case, nobody told the defense that held South Florida like 3 points, that was running around getting absolutely destroyed. But we may have found one guy that was
This is the
in
kid
on
they
it.
told.
Yeah, let's run the clip. Maybe this is the one guy they told. Let's
Not
run
to play
the clip
hard.
real quick.
He's like, man, I don't want to do this today.
Man, stand up for Jalen, man.
Should have started with Jalen.
Let's play the clip.
Let's play Jalen. Oh, God.
See, this is that. I'm telling you, nobody makes that decision. Nobody says, hey, I'm not giving effort. Run it again. Nobody says, I'm not giving effort today. I'm going to let this grown man run through me. Wham. That's not how this works because you pay the price. And then you're going to go through a whole week of workouts and practice and all that just to show up and just give no effort. So, again, I had this whole monologue prepared about they need to tailor the offense to Jalen Milroe, and we're going to get into that and make adjustments. But I just bring in David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, my brother, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crane. I've seen this around, this narrative around, and look, players get upset about playing time and situations. But what you don't do is go out on the field and let yourself get destroyed by somebody physically.
There are physical consequences to this game. Organizations can tank, but players can't do that.
Yeah. That's not how that works.
I think for the first time in a long time, we're seeing Alabama have problems, plural. Like it's multifaceted, and you're combining all of them. I mean, last year, Bryce Young and Will Anderson, 2 of the top 3 picks in the NFL draft, were able to cover up a lot of the problems. And, what I want to say is, it's normal. Like what we're seeing from Alabama right now is actually normal.
Yeah.
It's what's not normal is to win 6 championships in 12 years. What's not normal is to win a championship every 3 years and to win double-digit games for 14 seasons in a row. It's not normal to watch Monday Night Football last night and both of the quarterbacks starting are 2 of the last 3 that you've had at your program. Like that to me, that he set the standard so high that now that you're actually doing normal things, I mean, we're talking about how bad Alabama played this weekend and they still won, right? Like last year we said it was a down year for Alabama. They still won 10 games. That's how you know you've set the bar so astronomically high that when we start to see problems, plural, multiple, it's like, it's weird. It's like that was such a weird game to watch. I'm like, this is South Florida and we're getting trucked like that and we can't throw the football.
Can't run the ball.
And now Ole Miss is coming to town. You don't think Lane Kiffin wants to beat his? He just had to watch Steve Sarkisian, the OC who followed him up at Alabama, beat the mentor. You don't think Lane Kiffin wants to beat him?
Yeah.
So you got to get it fixed quick. I think Jalen Milroe is going to be the starting quarterback.
Blaine, empires rise and fall.
Rome, yeah,
Football
even Rome
is
fell.
cyclical.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, Auburn couldn't beat Alabama. I mean, it's this, and then Nick Saban comes in, and Alabama has that dynastical run. Then obviously Georgia's doing what they're doing now. You had Clemson hop in there for a little bit. We've seen what Florida's done as well under Urban Meyer. But when it comes to Alabama, I think David is right. They're coming back down to earth a little bit. The game is changing.
Yes.
Times are evolving. Now, that doesn't mean that Alabama can't. They recruit as good as anybody. It's not like they have bad players. They just don't have the best players at almost every position, including up front. But if you're Alabama right now, you have to tailor this. After watching Tyler Buckner, nobody was surprised. We talked about it here. He wasn't impressive at Notre Dame. Throwing the ball, he's got some athleticism. Look, the weather was terrible. I get it. It was a lot of bad circumstances. South Florida threw a Dr. Seuss book at him on defense with all the movement and stunning and things they were doing. But for Alabama, just even for the layman to see, it has to be an offense that is tailored to Jalen Milroe that puts him in a position to use his athleticism, whether that's through the zone read, the RPO. To be honest with you, it needs to be an offense that looks a lot like Alabama's last year.
Yeah, you need to turn Jalen Milroe into Nick Marshall.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. There's no reason for this kid to be taking 3-step, 5-step drops and throwing the ball 25 plus. Get him outside the pocket. All right, and you go back to the offensive line. And we've said this before. You can be huge, and that's fine, but it's so weird seeing Alabama not be football smart. I'm so used to seeing Alabama do the right thing when it comes to football plays, all right? Not even being the biggest and being the fastest, which they were, but they're the biggest, the fastest, and the smartest, and that's tough to lose a football game. Go back to what you were saying earlier in the monologue, which I want to touch on. I've never seen a team tank and win.
Yeah. You ever
seen a team tank and win before? No, it's not a real thing. This isn't Valkyrie, all right? This isn't a coup. Tom Cruise isn't about to walk in. You go through too much on a weekly basis to go throw a game on a Saturday. I'll never believe.
If I got to go through inside drill on Tuesday, and do perimeter
do
drill
inside.
on Wednesday.
Go do inside
I
drill
just
one
had
time.
PTSD, and I didn't even have to.
Yeah,
do
and you played
inside drill.
quarterback.
Yeah, go do inside drill one time and see if you're going to fake it through an entire week. But there's problems for Alabama right now. And there's not really a guy on this roster that you can flex seal this thing with and fix it.
Yeah.
Because that was Bryce Young. That was
Jalen Milroe's the closest thing you got.
Yeah, and that's a sad thing to say because I think Jalen's going to be a great player in a couple years. He has to see a lot more, but his athleticism's through the roof. But I go back to the Texas game. Alabama had 0 sacks.
Yeah.
They had 0. There's things that are happening at Alabama, and it's their fault. They programmed us to be used to the not normal. Right? And I go back to the Texas game. I'm so not used to seeing Alabama play like that. I'm so used to them, whatever team from whatever conference comes in, holds up the sign.
I'm having to watch it like The Conjuring.
And I have to sit here and tell you that, look, I'm an Auburn fan. You don't want this.
No.
Like, it's all fun and games until they get off the bus and Eddie Lacy's their smallest player.
Yeah, well, that's insane. I remember watching Courtney Upshaw and Dante Hightower and Marcel Darius and these monsters that were not only physically imposing and dominant, but were so football smart.
That was ridiculous.
You had no chance. Like they could play bad, like not want to play bad, but play bad, and you have no chance. But there's no more right now. We want Bama. We want Georgia, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's to that point. Now again, there's things you can do to fix it. But when I'm watching South Florida shut down Alabama's running game, a South Florida program that I don't think has won a combined 10 games in the last 4 seasons, that's going through head coaches like a Kardashian goes through husbands. Like it's just weird to see because Blaine's right. They have programmed, and the standard is so high, right, at Alabama. And I'm going to say what I said last year, and people think I'm nuts. I thought I was nuts. Bill O'Brien a little bit, say what you want, but he would tailor the offense around his best player. Bryce Young may have pulled the ball 2 times on the RPO, but, I mean, I'm looking at what Tommy Reed's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You went out there with Tyler Buckner trying to throw the ball around a little bit. Can't do it. Ty Simpson, you're asking a lot. That's asking a lot to come into that situation. There was some good and bad. But, again, we want to know what you think. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got live calls today. We're taking them at 8:15 a.m. Eastern. That's 7:15 a.m. Central. All right, we want to get to them quickly, too. So you got one thing to call in, talk about, want to take your victory laps. There's a couple people that I know want to do that. But we're going to get to the chat in 1 second. But woke up this morning, I have coffee, all right? I hop out the bed like I'm possessed.
Yeah, you do.
And there's only one company that I get my coffee from, the Wonka of chocolate, right? That is Black Rifle Coffee Company, okay? Not only do they have ready-to-drink cans for people with no time to brew coffee in the traditional way, but their coffee subscription gives you a chance to purchase limited edition flavors. They give you nothing but the best. It's a Coffee of the Month club where you get premium roast from the best farms worldwide. And guess what? This month, it was Space Bear. How about that? And they just launched their Halloween pumpkin spice collection featuring the Headless Horseman
Ichabod.
Ghost, my uncle Ichabod Crane. Y'all know what time it is. With pumpkin spice flavors so good, it'll haunt your taste buds for all eternity. We're still waiting on that Flaming Dragon Brew, though.
Great things take time.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Great things take
I guess
time.
they got to go get these beans.
You know, there's some
Narnia or
patent
something.
things that we're like the name, some people. There's a website out there.
Okay, so stop running out of coffee and sign up for that Coffee Club subscription. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at checkout for 10% off your order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. And use our promo code BOOSTER for 10% off. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. And make sure we're going to throw the link for some Crane & Company merch in there. We don't have a lot left. Go buy it out so we can put new stuff in there. That's how it works. You ever been at a grocery store? You buy out all the zucchini.
Replenish.
They got to order more of it. So do that. Anyway, Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Corey Sones, the $5 donation. Corey, thank you, sir. As Drake would say, I'm upset. Jags play calling was terrible. Braves played like trash, but the Gators saved my weekend.
Yeah, look, Braves already won the division. I'm not worried about the Braves. Let's get those arms healthy. Hey, let's work on hitting it the other way in the cages. Let's just get everybody ready to go. Playoff focused. We're gonna get to the NFL here in a minute.
All right, let's go to James Stallings with a $5 donation. And I appreciate it, James. Hey, y'all make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. What's up, guys? What's up, James? Is Auburn actually good? Question mark. People told me I was crazy when I said I would take Auburn's QB room over Alabama's, Who's laughing now?
Well, it's a long way to go, but people were about to call the FBI before the season when I said, don't be shocked if Auburn and Alabama have a lot more similar records than what people think. Still a long way to go.
Ooh.
Look, it's going to be tough
Ooh.
going to A&M. And there's some mega matches. I'm so excited about the slate of games.
Separation Saturday.
Separation Saturday.
Separation Saturday.
Separation Saturday.
So many answers, including the team we're talking about.
Well, we're going to find out about Auburn at A&M a little bit. But I want to tell Auburn fans this. This is going to take time with Hugh Freeze. Okay? If Auburn goes and gets drilled by A&M, it's not the end of the world. A&M's got a good football team. I'm telling you, Connor Wegman's a good player. Like, we talked about it before the year. I think he's a star. Somebody came out and had him ranked. I think it may have been Danny Cannell. Somebody had him ranked the number 1 quarterback in the SEC, and I don't think that's crazy when you really look at it with the way some of the quarterbacks are playing. Mm-hmm. But Auburn tends to play at A&M pretty well. It's up front where I'm interested to see. We're going to find out a lot more up front this game. Can Auburn rush the passer against that A&M offensive line? Are they going to be able to run the ball? And then Peyton Thorne ran the ball really well last week against Sanford, looked fast. I know it's Sanford, okay, but he looked quick enough to be able to operate it, had a couple of deep balls. But we're going to find out. But either way, they go over there and play it close. If they go over there and A&M beats them down, Auburn is on the right track with Hugh Freeze. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And you cannot overreact to one game or a couple games during a season. They're 3-0. They went out on the road and beat Cal. They've handled business so far. But we're going to really find out what Auburn's about this weekend. And that's what you want. You want tests, right? I don't do all this studying and do all these study guides not to take the midterm.
Yep. Nobody panic.
Yeah, I need to know.
Do all that not to have your girlfriend take the midterm.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Or that guy from Suits.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah.
That guy from Suits. So D-Wise, 188 with a $5 donation. You are wise, sir. Even though we lost, still proud of my Gamecocks. Guess we'll have to settle for a 10-2 season.
I tweeted, I tweeted this out. I tweeted this out. There may not be a more important player to their team other than Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
Like, especially now that Juice Wells is hurt.
Yeah, Williams pretty good.
Isn't that great to say about
but
him?
look at what Caleb Williams has around him. I mean, USC's wide receiver core is disgusting. South Carolina's got Leggett. And then
What is he doing right now?
then Luke Doty, the former backup quarterback. Juice Wells, I think, broke a bone
in his foot. Yeah, he already broke it.
They have a screw in it, but again, if you've ever broken a bone in your foot.
I have.
Yeah,
it's not great.
I have too. I had a teeth fracture.
It's not
I'll say this. And David, you made a great point on the Sunday recap.
Tell everyone.
That you made a great point that I made a great point. No, I'm just kidding. David said, South Carolina, and we talked about it. We said they should use Colorado's game plan week 1 against TCU. You know you're deficient up front. You're going to struggle to run the ball. So supplement the run game with the pass game. Mm-hmm. Quick game, screen game. And they did that, right? And then it kind of gave them a little more time for them to hit Leggett, down the field. Spencer was escaping up through the pocket, was kind of using Georgia's speed against him on the offensive line. But then in the second half, they got away from it.
3-step drop.
It got into 3-step.
Georgia kind of...
Well, no, Georgia,
Kirby break cage.
If you look, Georgia was...
I get it. You can have all the game plan you want to get. Your point's valid.
But I agree with you.
Yeah.
South Carolina kind of got away from it, and Georgia really turned it up. Georgia took the training wheels off Carson Beck in the second half, too. They came out throwing. If you look, Georgia kind of did what South Carolina did, right? They opened the half, screen game on the outside. Now screens. They were hitting him. It opened up the middle. Then Carson was able to hit him deep. And, of course, they got Brock Bowers more involved. Why am I having to tell Mike Bobo this?
Yeah.
But South Carolina, I thought, fought valiantly.
I did, too.
Shane Beamer's teams always will. But here's what I'm telling you. South Carolina really got up for that game. Mississippi State just got embarrassed at home. We're going to get that LSU game. I know it's a 4.5-point spread. I like South Carolina to win the game, but do not be shocked if South Carolina does not look like the heroes they just look like at Georgia, coming off a very physical game, a game in which you played at a very high level for a long time. But Spencer Rattler, man, again, when it comes down to player's value to a team, that he is definitely top 5 in the country.
How great is it that we're saying that about Spencer Rattler? Remember,
he's
seasons
matured,
we talked about an attitude problem. He's immature. All the talent in the world. I mean, what's something worse you can say about a man other than, he has a lot of potential that wasn't fulfilled.
That's exactly
And now Spencer Rattler's coming here under Shane Beamer, who recruited him at Oklahoma, and now we're saying things like, man, he's the most important player on his team, and even though he's getting sacked 9 times in a game, he's standing up and going back at it again every single time, trying to make plays for his team. That's better than having an attitude problem. And
I think Spencer's the best quarterback.
He's making himself a lot of money too. Spencer Rattler's making himself a lot of money by the way he's playing right now.
All right, let's go to JD Guthrie, the $10 donation. Man, I love Guthrie's. Remember Guthrie's in Auburn?
Yes.
God, their sauce, top tier.
Right by Frank Brown.
Ooh.
Rec Center.
Let's go. Oak State / Texas A&M alum suffering whiplash, though not delusional like others. 1, South Alabama boat race my pokes.
Oh, Jags.
Can they win 6 games this season? 2, monsters in front of Wegman truck the Aggies to 10 wins maybe this year?
I had A&M going 9-3 or 8-4. I had A&M going 8-4, possibly 9-3. I think I had them 9-3 on Texags before we did our predictions here on the show. I'm telling you, do not let that Miami loss. I think that loss to Miami said just as much about Miami as it did about A&M from a physicality standpoint. That Miami defense got some cats running around back there now. Now, we know Restrepo on offense is nice. That run game is nice. But Tyler Van Dyke looks what? He looks healthy.
Boys, too.
Sabbatical.
And it's sabbatical.
Went on a sabbatical. No social media.
Look.
Nothing. He was just in his backyard.
Yeah.
Just throwing balls over mountains.
No, sometimes you just got to go sit in the woods for a while.
So just go stare at a cow for
now you're watching Clemson lose to Duke and Boston College play Florida State 2 points, and all of a sudden the U starting to look like, hey,
God,
can we believe a little?
College football.
Can we believe
Miami
a little?
And Florida State.
I love it.
To be legit. If just, regardless of what conference you affiliate yourself with or what team you affiliate yourself with, it's just great for college football that I can look at Miami and Florida State and say, okay, I get it. Now, hey, Nebraska, how about figure it out?
Hey, a couple things at a time.
I know, David.
A couple things at a time.
David. All right, one more, Blaine, before we move on.
All right, let's go to Jordan Tooley. Keep that tool on him.
Keep that toolie on him.
Hit that $5. You know what a tool is, David?
I do.
You do?
Used to listen to hip hop.
Morning, boys. Good morning to you, Jordan. The time to start panicking that Justin Fields isn't the right QB. Do the Bears tank for Caleb Williams?
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. I want to keep it on college football right now. We're gonna get to our NFL recap, but we'll remember that because we got a lot to talk about. All right, let's go ahead and get into right and wrong.
Let's do it.
All right, David, where were you right?
You want me to start with what I was right about?
Start with where you were right.
Washington.
Yeah.
Washington. I'm telling you, man, they're a good football team. And Michael Penix Jr., everybody's talking about Caleb Williams and now talking about Shedeur Sanders. I'm sitting here looking at Michael Penix Jr. sling the football around, and it's really incredible. Now, obviously, I had them to make the college football playoff at the beginning of the season. I don't know if they're balanced enough yet to do that. Let's see. And when I say balance, I mean twofold. I don't only mean offense to defense, but on offense, I mean run to pass. Michael Penix Jr., third straight game.
Are they run to pass or are they pass to run now?
No. I just meant run and pass balance.
Okay,
because I see them as sort of the West Coast North Carolina right now with Drake May, unbelievable quarterback, can make plays, but not a very strong running game. And we're going to see how they are on defense. The only difference being that Washington has 2 of the top 10 wide receivers in the country, which is really setting them apart. So Michael Penix Jr. goes on the road, and we can talk about how Michigan State's down right now and all the stuff about Mel Tucker. Still, you're traveling across the country, playing at night, and you're playing a Michigan State team who we thought could possibly maybe circle the wagons for their head coach. Mark D'Antonio coming back. Michael Penix Jr. throws for 473, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and they win 41-7.
With some Cajun fries?
Well, I think they had Cajun fries.
Guess nobody could find the wagon.
On the plane ride.
The wagons broke. It's like Oregon Trail. You had too much meat, you're dead.
Tough.
They circled them, but they
died of dysentery.
So 41-7 there, Washington. And let's see how we go moving forward.
All right, here where I was right. I was gonna sit here and say LSU bouncing back physically, but we're gonna get into LSU unders. Two of my under sharps hit because Tennessee and Florida opened at 59.
I took that under too.
Total. I hopped on that one, like a fat kid at a Jolly Rancher convention.
They have conventions for those?
Apparently.
That's crazy.
And then also the under in the Georgia-South Carolina game was like stealing. I was a little nervy when South Carolina went down and scored on that first drive because I thought the game was going to end up being like 38-10, somewhere around there. The over-under, I got it at 55 and a half. It ended up hitting, but with this new clock rule, and I know you go back and look, they're like, oh, well, only 50.8% of the unders are hitting. Yes, but that's for all the games. Like, if you know the style of teams that you're picking, the under's the play in a lot of these games. So when you're
clock rule, baby.
We're taking, and then yesterday, for the Sunday recap, what did I say about the NFL? That a ton of unders hit week one. The NFL runs on points and fantasy, right? Offense and fantasy, that's what they run on. At one point yesterday, the over was 12-1 because the defensive penalties were getting called at an alarming rate. Go look at how many more passes.
Except for Chiefs and Jags.
Yeah, that's
Dolphins.
an anomaly.
Yeah.
It's only an anomaly.
Dolphins,
But at one
Pats.
point, it was 12-1. So that's where I was right.
Oh, nice. I agree. I should have took a bunch more unders yesterday. What I was right about over the weekend? I guess just Missouri and Florida as I picked them.
You're going to combine? You're going to combine?
Well, I might as well. I can't leave one
That's
out.
fine.
I mean,
That's
two
fine.
dog picks.
Hey, live your life, dog.
Believed, right? I believed. Sooner or later, you look at Missouri, like, there's talent there. Brady Cook returning, drinking the boys. Their front seven solid. Luther Burden's the NFL receiver. All right.
He plays a different level.
Yeah, he's the NFL. He was a dog last year. But sooner or later, I've watched Missouri just absolutely fumble the bag on winning games.
I know.
Fumble the bag. When the pressure is highest, they would just absolutely Post Malone fall apart. So sooner or later, the ball would have to bounce their way. And in that game, it did. And in the second game, the Tennessee game,
Florida beat their ass.
Grant Mertz with the shorts and the sports, baby. That's what it's about. Grant Mertz. Another thing I could say I was wrong about was Grant Mertz. Like, at this point, I know he didn't throw for 300-plus yards. He threw for like 170
Did
yards.
against Utah.
But he's not what? He's not rocking the boat. He's keeping it what? Steady. And right now, if you're Florida, you need a guy at the helm to keep it steady for you. And good job for Billy Napier. Good job for Florida. So what I was right about, a couple dog picks, Missouri, and the Gators, baby.
Well, the difference is Florida's able to run the ball.
Kick their ass up front.
As opposed to Utah. They were one-dimensional. And Graham Mertz is.
And that's so
doing better
surprising because we were talking about Tennessee's defense this year.
That's again, that's what I was going to say. The most surprising part of that Tennessee game, because I didn't think Joe Milton played awful.
I don't think he played bad. I didn't think.
Right, I think Joe Milton played. You had the one pick where he got hit when he kind of let the ball go, but outside he had a few that were low. Joe Milton didn't cost Tennessee the game. Tennessee's lack of ability to stop the run, and it just felt like that Florida dictated that pace and dictated that pace and dictated that pace and set the tone. And I mean, they led outside of Tennessee. It was so huge when Florida answered that first score by Tennessee. Because Florida got the ball first, punted, Tennessee just went right down the field. Bang, 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 bang. But right when Tennessee got off script, they could never get back into a rhythm.
Yeah.
Right when they got off that script, they could never get back into a rhythm. I thought Florida tackled really well in space, but they sat on the ball.
Yeah, their best defense was their offense.
I was a little surprised about how they were managing the game in the second half. I thought it was a little bit risky, to be honest, but maybe they just identified across the ball like, hey, they're not going to score on us, and we're just going to chew clock.
Really waited them out.
That's how you, like, with this clock change, that's how you're going to beat them. You want to know how you beat up-tempo teams? Just hold on to the ball.
Yeah, like
the ball
that
the whole
was Colorado State's plan, right?
Well, it's not just
caught them
it's
late.
not just up-tempo teams. Go back to Georgia and South Carolina. Georgia had the ball one time in the first quarter, 4 times in the first half, right? South Carolina possessed the ball a lot, and then all of a sudden in that second half, the faucet kind of opened. But it just seemed, I thought it was the right move for Billy. I really did, because you never those teams, they're rhythm shooters, right? That's what that offense is. It's a rhythm shooter, like in basketball.
Yeah.
You let them get going and they start running. Like the Warriors, when do the Warriors start burying teams? They don't bury them when we're just sitting here, just methodical,
About halfway through
run
the
through
third.
the play. It's all of a sudden when it starts turning into a track meet and it's, there he is, there he is, there he is, there he is. Tennessee is a rhythm shoot, and every offense wants to have rhythm, but they can't operate at maximum efficiency unless they're going at maximum speed. And again, I forgot which announcer was on the call, but they said, Tennessee, when they're cooking, that tempo, they just keep ramping it up and ramping it up and ramping up throughout the drive. Like you get that first down, here we go. You get that next first down, here we go again. It's faster. Then they're down there. But I thought it was the right move by Billy. And sometimes it can be risky, right? Sometimes it can be risky, but sometimes you got to risk it to get the biscuit.
100%.
All right, where were you wrong, David?
BYU and Arkansas. I'll just start with the game specifically. I thought Arkansas would win this game. But also, and I know they didn't have Rocket Sanders in there, but then BYU, just from a more, overarching perspective, first year coming into the Big 12, I thought that BYU would get up for a lot of those conference games, but still not go on the road and beat a team like Arkansas and even struggle within the conference. I have a lot of respect for the BYU program and the football product that they always put out on the field. So I'm not entirely surprised by this, but watching them just stay in this game, hang around, and finding a way to win late, I thought was very impressive. And I was looking at the schedule here. Coming up next for them, next 3 games, Kansas, Cincinnati, a bye week, and then TCU. All of those games are winnable, and you're already 3-0. If you could get off to a 6-0 start before you play Texas Tech and you get them at home, and then you'll start to play Texas and the Oklahomas of the world. So good things for BYU right now.
Yeah, and they Arkansas got up 14-0 like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Took that punt back.
Just be a boat race.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were in a lot of trouble. It shows you kind of the intestinal fortitude that BYU has on the road. And Sam Pittman in Arkansas, man, that's a disappointing loss.
Yeah.
It's a very disappointing loss. And they go to LSU this week, which we're going to get into all previews and predictions tomorrow. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Where I was wrong, I thought Colorado was going to destroy Colorado State after what Jay Norvell said. And the greatest irony, though, in all of it is that Jay Norvell came out and talked about respect and discipline and all this other things, and then you commit 17 penalties. 9 personal foul penalties. I think there was dirty stuff both ways. I think the hit on Travis Hunter was dirty. But I also watched Shadur Sanders try and gouge somebody's eyes out to his helmet. So I thought it was very, very chippy. But I thought Colorado State, that's why it was so interesting at the ending, like watching them take that crossing route and the guy just dance out of bounds without trying to get the first down. Colorado State came into that game with a lot of confidence, borderline arrogance, that I think they got through Jay Norvell's comments, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So in hindsight, on one hand, on the penalty side, they weren't very prepared for that part, which surprises me. But on the other hand, I think it did kind of help them play a little bit above where they were. I don't think Colorado played good, honestly, for most of that game, that they were able to come back in the end and win it. But I thought after the comments that Jay Norvell made about Deion Sanders, after Prime bought the whole team sunglasses, I thought it was about to get ugly because again, like we said, if you watch Game Day, what did they talk about? All they talked about was Colorado versus who? Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado versus who? USC.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot of Colorado versus Colorado State talk, and I felt like you took away the only advantage of that you had as Colorado State. It's being a little bit overlooked, and you narrowed their focus. But Colorado State answered the bell somewhat. Colorado should have really lost the game, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So, you found a way to win. I just thought Colorado, just by mere focus on that game, was going to be able to cover, and they didn't.
And Colorado's found 3 different ways to win 3 different games right now, which is extremely impressive. And like I said yesterday, that starts at the top, and that starts with coaching. But I thought Colorado State outplayed them for much of this game. And Coach Norvell's comments before the week, when we were talking about him last week, I think was more a message to his team that the other team in the state, our rival, is not going to have a monopoly on confidence or a monopoly on swag.
Yeah.
And, we can disagree or agree or have problems with the way that he went about it or whatever. But I think it was just like a way to galvanize his team. And Blaine made the point yesterday that you can't win a football game when you commit 9 personal foul penalties. Now, the first couple, you could say we're going to trade those for the amount of energy.
So maybe worth
energy and the tone setting that we're going to come in with. But even still, all of that excitement only lasts a couple drives. After that, it's about X's and O's. And they were beating them on the X's and O's. They were controlling the ball, these long drives, possessions, things like that, to keep that high-flying offense on the side. I thought that quarterback's a good player, man.
Yeah.
And he made a couple mistakes that you can't get away with. But even the punt down the field to the 2-yard line at the end of the game,
call.
Man, 2 minutes to go 98 yards, and they had 2 timeouts, and something felt like, oh, that's more than enough time for Shadur Sanders.
Oh, yeah, you knew. Like, right when they got the ball, I knew.
Yeah.
Like, the narrative was just lining up. Like, they wouldn't have hyped all this up. My wrongs is going to be a weird one because they're 3-0. I picked the Kentucky Wildcats to finish second in the East. I watched Kentucky play the entire game against Akron, and Devin, I don't know who Devin Leary is right now. I watched a guy at NC State a couple of years ago that was ACC Player of the Year. that was slinging.
He's running for his life a little bit.
Slinging the pill around. But still, when he's dropping back in the pocket, wide open, it just doesn't look the same. Something is off. Kentucky's defense is there because they're going to be a Mark Stoops coach team, and they're going to be able to run the ball because they're a Mark Stoops coach team. But Devin Leary needs to turn back into the old Devin Leary pretty quick because it's about to get you. If you think this game's going to be going to Vandy, just going to be a walk in the park, it's not. All right, I've watched y'all play. It's not. Then you got Florida, Georgia, Missouri, Tennessee. All right, then after that 4 weeks straight, you got on the road at Mississippi State. So Kentucky needs to figure it out and figure it out quick because this 3-0 right now might feel good, but if you watch the product on the field, it's not great.
Yeah. No, I look, and I think Kentucky's a 13.5-point favorite right now. Some of the lines that open, by the way, that Oregon-Colorado game opened at 14.5 last week. It was at 19.5 yesterday.
Wait, Oregon and Colorado's already up to 19.5?
I got it
we
yesterday.
told y'all last week.
Going up.
We told y'all last week when it was at 14.5.
Like,
I took them. That's one of my sharps. I tweeted it out yesterday for this week.
Love what Colorado's doing. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a cool story. You know, good for Prime, good for Boulder. But I'm telling you, this team y'all about to go play this week, you about to find out this week.
There's not going to be any tricking.
No, you're about to find out this week. This isn't Colorado State.
And look, they'll use what Dan Lanning said about Colorado. And whether that's right or wrong, David, I know you and me and you are the same in thinking that really didn't have that much to do with Prime, but they'll try and use that. But at some point, like, the slingshot's not going to hurt the Rhino, regardless of how pissed off you are while shooting the slingshot.
Well, Deion brought his mom in the.
I thought that was hilarious.
Did you see that? He's like, the only thing you can't get away with me is like talking about my mom. He didn't really talk about my mom, but here's how he did talk about my mom.
He didn't talk about mom, but
the only thing you can't do in life is call me stupid. Now, did he call me stupid? No. Okay, but he used a lot of big words.
Yeah.
And the words he used, I missed in the spelling bee in second grade.
He said putrid, which rhymes with stupid.
And that's the word I missed. And so basically,
Man,
essentially, he called me stupid.
And
what does that mean?
That was a K.
That means this person.
Real quick, storming the field after the 24, you're a 24-point favorite. Listen, I can understand storming the field against Nebraska. You haven't been good in a long time. Nebraska's your true rival. And everybody's like, let the kids have fun. Let the kids have fun. Nobody is saying don't have fun. But you don't have to just storm the field to have fun. So now you have to storm the field after every game.
Well, you can have fun, but people are watching and they think you look stupid.
That's
like
how
it's
like it's a college football game. I love, like, this is one of the more fun things about the college atmosphere than professional. Like, you got so excited about what your university is doing on the football field, you want to run out into the middle of the field.
Great.
That's awesome.
That's
Let's do it. But then we're going to have comments about it.
Yeah,
well, how about
make
this?
fun of you.
How about this? How about you run out of the stadium to the fraternity house or wherever the party is and go do that? Hell, run out to the intramural fields. I'm just like, again, I'm not trying to be get off my lawn, whatever. But I don't get. Maybe it's just a difference.
I'll do it. Don't storm the field when you're a 23-point favorite and you win in overtime, dummies.
Yeah.
Like, act like look. Okay, like, I get it. You were a 3-possession favorite. You played bad. All right, you played bad and won and stormed the field. It's Colorado.
But if there's only one time.
But now they do.
Yeah, no, sometimes you got to tell them.
Yeah.
Like, if that had just won you the Pac-12 and it was against a team you were 24-point, storm the field. Storm it like Halle Berry in that X-Men movie. All right? Storm the hell out of it. But, they said they called it a stampede, which I get. I just, not for the 24. Now, you're past that now. You're past that.
Yeah, we had to come to Jesus meeting. All right. So
everybody talked about it.
Now go do the dishes. I'll talk to your mother later.
Just a guy on a Buffalo.
Yep.
Now, look, we all have a lot in our schedules. Speaking about Buffalo, all right, you want to see something that gets me stampeding toward the kitchen or toward the grill. We know people are really, really busy, going to soccer practice, football practice, all that stuff, prepping for the holidays. But the good news is you can take one big thing on your plate by putting great meat on your plate with Good Ranchers. All right? It's tailgating season.
Yes.
Okay? I walk outside now, there's a little crispness in the air. Fall's here. All right? We know you're getting out there on the grill and you want to have quality meat. You can't have a quality result if you don't have quality ingredients. All right? This is 100% American sourced meat.
America.
Yeah. We're not going, they're not going over there to Sweden.
Yeah.
Okay?
They're playing ping pong and ding dang.
That's exactly right. And right now, and I want everybody to just lock in for a second. They're offering 2 years of ground beef to anyone free. 2 years of ground beef free to anyone who subscribes. That's a $480 value.
In this economy?
In this economy.
In this economy.
In
2
this
years?
economy.
2 years?
2 years. That's 2 years of free, high-quality ground beef and a locked-in price. No other meat company guarantees you 100% American meat and a locked-in price. That's because nobody else is good ranchers. All right? There's average ranchers out there. Let's be honest. There's poor ranchers out there. All right? But good ranchers, they're great ranchers. So go to goodranchers.com today and use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, for $25 off and free ground beef for 2 years. You know how many burgers that is? You have any idea in your mind how many burgers that is?
17.
1,000. Remember,
1,000 teams.
1,000 teen. Remember, subscribe to any box to lock in your price on America's Best Meat for 2 whole years as well. That's goodranchers.com and use our code BOOSTER for over $500 in savings. Subscribe to Good Ranchers. American meat delivered. How about that? Greatest deal ever. All right, real quick, Booster Club, then we get to NFL recap. Then calls.
Hide your money, y'all. It's poor people round. Let's go to Cole Frink with the $2 donation. Cole, LeBron is mid. MJ's the GOAT.
Yep.
And Blaine, I need it's mid. All right, Cole, you want it that bad, you'll get it, buddy. Let's go to Ranger 2366. $5 donation. Ranger, thank you. Who do you recommend for the new Michigan State head coach, DC, OC, and AD? Hurting bad. At this point, I'll take the local JV team / coach instead of what we have.
If it's me, I'm calling Jeff Levy at Oklahoma.
Go,
my first call.
Jeff Traylor.
Jeff Traylor? Would he take it? I don't know.
The guy's on campus already.
No.
Mark D'Antonio.
I think you should call Harbaugh.
Mark D'Antonio.
You're going back to the future?
Hey,
You should call
back to
Harbaugh from the
future.
Ravens.
You had your best years.
Harbaugh for the Ravens.
Stop it.
That's what I want to say.
Stop it. Only brotherly matchups in Michigan right now. You went and got your last coach. You went and got your last coach from Colorado.
Here's what I'm
Try
thinking.
that again?
Here's what I'm thinking. You want me to put together the super staff? Jeff Levy, head coach. Jim Leonard, DC.
Ooh.
Offensive coordinator, doesn't matter. Jeff Levy's the head coach.
No. We're trying to keep Paul Bunyan in Ann Arbor, for God's sake.
I don't need your
Would you
bias.
stop putting together the super team over there?
Yeah, the A team. That's who I'm getting.
Let's go to Shoot Nasty. Shoot. $5 donation. Appreciate it. Shoot says, we need those Gator receipts, baby. We need them.
I mean,
We need them.
We need Voltar to call in.
We need them.
no, don't worry. I'm sure Smoking Gator's going to call in today. You're going to get all the receipts. But I will say, we did say on the show, nobody would be shocked if Florida won this game. Not at all.
Smelled funny to me all off season, man.
Well, when you watch Florida wasn't, when Graham Mertz wasn't as, folding up like a cheap tent, like a lot of times at Wisconsin.
Look, Grant Mertz's new phone, who this?
I know.
Like, he does not look like the same guy from
And that's
Wisconsin.
great, man.
What girl did you find? That's what I feel like it.
Guys develop, guys improve.
That Florida campus will do it to you.
Well, look, guys develop, guys improve. That's one of the things, like when Tyler Buckner's coming in from Notre Dame to Alabama, I thought, okay, well, he played for Tommy Rees, the OC there. I wasn't impressed with him at Notre Dame, but let's see, because I wasn't impressed with Graham Mertz at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But a lot of experience. He's taken a lot of snaps, a lot of big-time football. You come into the right environment with the right offense, and we talked about it in that Utah game. I was looking at some of the throws Graham Mertz was making. Like,
His arm's stronger than I remember.
Well, he just looks calm, cool, and confident, right?
Yeah.
That's the 3 C's you need to play that QB position.
It's the same with Jordan Love to me with the Packers right now. I wasn't expecting anything, but I watched it objectively, and I keep watching him throw the football, and I'm like, man, this kid's got something. Is he going to be? Are they going to have 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row in Green Bay? I don't know about all that, but
The
man,
Falcons have one of the
good.
best secondaries in the league.
Look
Yeah, well,
good.
AJ Terrell's nice.
Yeah.
That's a great segue. Hey, we got calls. Go ahead. What time is it right now?
7:13.
7:13. I'd go ahead and get ready to call in because that line's going to be jammed. 1-855-236-3228. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and go check out Daily Wire Plus.
I love it. Wild day in the NFL,
Yes.
boys. Let's just start with the New York Football Giants. Played as bad for 6 quarters in a row as any team since the 1970s Baltimore Colts or something like that. 40-0 in their opener against the Cowboys. Shut out in the first half against the Cardinals. They come from behind, tied for the largest comeback in Giants history, 21-point deficit to beat the Cardinals. But Saquon Barkley limps off at the end of the game with an ankle injury. Your thoughts on the Giants?
Man, I thought Daniel Jones really turned it on in the second half. The receivers made plays too. Daniel Jones was mission short a lot in the first game, in the first half, and then he started getting the ball out there to Slayton, and Jalen Hyatt made a couple big catches. But one of the biggest differences was Darren Waller in the middle started making plays and opening up that offense. And the Giants were struggling to throw the ball so much that the run game just couldn't get going. And they had balance in the second half, and Daniel Jones used his legs. That looked like the New York Giants team from last year, where Daniel Jones, who looks like a character off a superhero movie, square chin, total square chin. He started making plays with his legs.
Yeah.
And you saw the team get confidence, and that bled over to the defense, and the defense got a couple stops. Now, make no mistake, the Cardinals are bad. They're bad. Like, the Cardinals had something to do with that second half collapse. You had a couple key plays there where they really could have put the dagger in them, and they didn't. Thought James Conner really ran the ball hard. Hated to see that for him. But that looked like the Giants team. And sometimes there's points where you go back to, and you look at it and you say, that's when the season changed. If you look at the Giants, Saquon, we got to see with his health, but you can still see the glimmer of hope there. And a lot of people in Survivor Leagues probably had the Giants against the Cardinals, and that was a huge comeback for them.
Yeah, it was. Blaine, Falcons, Panthers, Packers up 24-12 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Falcons, you were just talking about them, 13 unanswered points in the fourth, comeback win 25-24.
Boy, Desmond.
Yeah, hey, Desmond. I thought Desmond Ridder stepped up and looked nice. I thought he was controlling the offense. What's the quarterback position you have to do? Bijan Robinson's a problem. Bijan Robinson,
good football player,
absolute problem. But I think this is more about Desmond and Desmond growing up. The Falcons are going to need Desmond Ridder to grow up because if you look at roster-wise, I mean, the Falcons are an extremely good football team. Secondary is one of the best in the league. Their offensive line is extremely talented and young. Their front seven has a little bit to work on, but they'll get there. But this all comes down to Desmond Ridder and his athletic ability. What you saw at Cincinnati, Desmond Ridder can run the football a little bit too, and you saw that against the Packers. I mean, good for the Falcons. Hell of a game in the watch because the Falcons ended up winning that game, correct?
Yeah. Falcons
25-24.
I mean, again, Drake London has 0 catches.
You knew that was
in
going
the
to
first game. You've got Drake London. You've got Kyle Pitts. You've got Bijan Robinson. I think Algiers a good player too. There's a couple pieces, for the Falcons that they're 2-0 now. You keep getting some confidence. Are they a great team? Do I think Desmond Ridder's going to be an elite player? I don't. I don't think he throws the ball well enough but he's just athletic enough, like on that third down run, to be able to extend the play where he split both the guys. There's some things that he's got some moxie to him. But we'll see what the Falcons. Long way to go.
Bills, big bounce back from week 1, 38-10 over the Raiders at home.
I thought, and they talked about this during the game. If you notice, the Bills really didn't attack the deep part of the field because, the defense was dictating everything in front of them. I thought Josh Allen was really patient. Now, he still tried to jump over a guy who just so happened to be his ex-teammate from Wyoming, who set him on the ground very, very gently, and then they dapped it up after that. But the Bills, they were just dominant. I mean, the Raiders came out, took the ball right down the field, scored a touchdown. Devontae Adams, thank you, on my fantasy team. Then after that, it was all Bills. I thought Josh was on point. I thought Josh was on time. Thought the run game looked good. James Cook keeps getting better and better and better to me the more I watch him. But I'm telling you, one of the best connections in the NFL is between Josh Allen and Dawson Knox. It seems like every time they get in the red zone and have to have it on a 3rd and goal, he's involved, whether that be catching the ball, whether that be running a pick route or a rub route. Dawson Knox was really good at that if you go back and watch. But I thought the Bills, they were aggressive, but they weren't over-aggressive. Josh Allen didn't try and force a lot of balls yesterday. And when they do that, look, we know the Bills. If Josh Allen takes care of the ball, they're going to be a problem.
Yep, no doubt. Blaine, Seahawks-Lions ended up being a really good game, too. And my biggest misbet of the day, because every time these teams play each other, the over hits.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. So it was 37-31 Seahawks win. Jared Goff threw that pick 6 late, but still is driving the line. Like, he erased it immediately, driving the Lions back to try and win this football game. Your thoughts on that whole game?
Crazy game. I had Seahawks +5 in this game, which I thought was a good bet. I thought Geno was going to have a bounce back from his first week, which he did. My couple keys to take away from this game is I thought the Lions secondary struggled throughout the game, which has always been the biggest question for the Lions. I thought up front they looked okay. But I thought Geno and the boys really got it going. You were worried about DK Metcalf early in that game, went out with the injury, actually came back.
Tyler Lockett's
always
underrated receiver in the NFL.
A significant piece at Seattle, no matter who the quarterback is. But hell of a game. I still think the Lions are an extremely good football team. I thought David Montgomery looked well. He got hurt for a little bit, but I think he's okay. They can run the ball and pass the ball. But it's going to come down to the Lions secondary, which comes down to every year. So until they improve there, that's when they're going to be able to make that jump. Because at that point, they're checking a lot of boxes, but the one box they can't check right now is the secondary position. And if you're not good in the secondary in the NFL, buddy, it's going to be a long year. Yeah. It's going to be a long year. You're going to have to shoot. Every week's going to be a shootout. You're living in the Pac-12, baby. That's what you're doing. So I like the Lions. I like the Seahawks, but good for the Seahawks. Big bounce-back win for them. I thought Kenneth Walker looked good. 2 touchdowns, 60 yards carrying. So I think the Seahawks are going to be fine. I think the Lions are going to be fine. Both great teams.
Well, Pete Carroll, again, you weren't going to see a repeat performance of week 1 with the Seahawks. I do want to say this, though. And the game comes down to a lot of different plays. Aiden Hutchinson got held on that last play. That was a holding call. Yeah. That's ridiculous that the back judge doesn't throw that flag. And I'm not typically one to complain about officials.
Well, when it affects the play, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it was blatantly obvious. It was blatantly obvious. And the overtime rules in the NFL, if you're going to have different rules for the playoffs, you need to have the same rule across the board. No other sport has that. No other sport does that. I don't know why the NFL decided just to change the overtime rules for the playoffs as opposed to the regular season.
College football has the best overtime rules. Yeah, soccer and hockey both have like a PK shootout.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not talking about soccer.
But then sometimes you get into like international play versus like club play and all that. College football has the best overtime rules.
Hands down.
Even after they changed it, I still love it. I love it. But I wanted to get your, I was going to say, we were playing each other in fantasy and you had Kenneth Walker. But I have Kenneth Walker in my money league.
Yeah.
So I was
Kenneth Walker in my money league.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, he had a good day.
Like that from the split.
Hey, big win for the Titans here at home.
Yes,
the Chargers. Held strong 27-24 win for Tannehill.
Man, it just felt like the Titans were going to blow it. I just always am waiting on the Titans to blow it. The rain came down right at the wrong time, too, like when they're getting ready to keep the field goal in overtime. That was a very Titan-esque game. I thought Ryan Tannehill did some good things with his legs. The offensive line still worries me. I mean, and Tannehill's, he's just not as elusive as what I thought in the pocket, or maybe it's just I convinced myself. But some of the receivers stepped up, right? DeAndre Hopkins made a couple big catches. Treylon Burks had a big catch down the field. Are the Titans an elite team? No, I'm more worried about the Chargers, but they didn't have Austin Eckler, right? You didn't have your little witch there.
I'm not worried about their offense.
I'm not. But the defense. It wasn't like the defense was horrible for the Chargers. I mean, Derrick Henry had a couple
like
plays.
If you ever almost give up 30 points for the Titans, that's horrible.
Yeah. Well, again, like the Derrick Henry on the goal lines, I can understand. What killed the Chargers to me was the amount of third downs they gave up over the middle of the field. Tannehill hit some. You're going to hit some plays down the field in the NFL with some of these guys, but the guys that are running wide open in the middle of the field against the Chargers, I don't know if people aren't communicating in the intermediate level, whether it's linebackers, whether it's the nickel, whether it's the down safety, whatever. But it seems like the Chargers, I mean, offensively, like you said, I'm not worried about them offensively. I mean, shout out to my guy, Gerald Everett, balling at tight end, former South Alabama alum. Very, very tough dude to tackle. But out of all the teams that are 0-2, I would not panic about the Chargers.
No.
Bengals, different story.
So I'm going to get into that in a second. I have a Booster Club question from Twitter that I want to ask you guys about that.
Okay.
But a couple other games here, rapid fire, real quick. So Colts and Texans, battle of the rookie QBs. Colts win this one, 31-20. C.J. Stroud, 384 yards through the air, 2 TDs, no picks. Nico Collins, my Michigan buddy there, 7 receptions, 146. He's turning out to be that true big X receiver, which is great. On the other side of that, though, Anthony Richardson, 2 big touchdown runs. Early, goes out with a concussion though, and I thought it was just so apropos that one of the graphics they put up when he had the rushing touchdowns was he's the first player to break some stat since Cam Newton and Tim Tebow did it in the NFL, and I thought that's so indicative of like the floor ceiling for Anthony Richardson. Like if he turns out to have the type of career that Cam Newton had in the NFL, it was a home run pick at 4, right? If you have the type of career that Tim Tebow had in the NFL, then maybe you're looking at, hey, we should have gotten someone else at 4, but goes out with a concussion, which that shouldn't surprise anyone when you're having your quarterback do so much on the ground.
Played 2 games. He's gone out hurt in 2 games.
Shouldn't surprise a lot of people.
I mean, it's at some point, like you watch this. I watched him score that first touchdown. Wow. I watched him run that second touchdown, and wow, he just looks like he's playing at a different level. But just over time, man, it's a math problem. Mm-hmm. It's runs over time equals injury.
Exactly. One thing from you real quick. You had 49ers over Rams as one of your locks, which they did win.
Big money bet.
30-23, but the Rams gave them all they could handle.
Rams
I like the way the
sneaky
Rams
good.
are playing, man.
Puka Nacua?
I got him up on waivers
They're
on a couple fantasy
sneaky
teams.
good this year. Their offensive line's extremely surprising.
Nacua set the NFL record
Yeah.
for receptions through the first 2
Well, I
games.
probably should have took it more serious when Aaron Donald before the season said he's going to play this season like it's his rookie year.
Yeah, they got
That's
something.
deathly.
Yeah.
Did you I don't know, if go back and listen to the fear in Geno Smith's voice.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Week 1.
Oh my
he
God.
saw that thing run at him.
Yeah. Well, and look, Matt Stafford's out there.
I'm telling you,
young Matt.
Matt-
That pick at the end, not on him.
Matt is
No.
cold.
Look, when
Matt Stafford is so underrated,
When-
cold, killer.
when he's throwing at angles like how you see the green field, out at the hunting lodge, with the little.
He's like
sidearm.
Daredevil. Matt Stafford might be blind.
He's working his way into
think he's
He's
blind?
like Daredevil. He just sees shapes.
He's working his way into
He doesn't
the
even look where he throws.
He's got like sonar.
Yeah,
like-
just sees just the
He's working
outline.
his way into the Hall of Fame conversation.
He's nasty,
Especially now that he
man.
got the Super Bowl.
He's got an
All right.
absolute cannon.
Also, Cowboys again.
Yeah.
70 to 10.
Played Rufio.
They've-
Yeah.
70
Minus
to 10. They've
8.5
beaten their first two
cheating.
opponents. Yeah, that was one
I
of the.
saw that
few
bet. I
I
was
hit.
like,
All right, here's the question I wanted to ask you guys from Kenneth Romero on Twitter. He said, I'd love to hear from you guys tomorrow, discuss which 0-2 NFL teams should be most concerned out of this list here. Bengals, Patriots, Broncos, Vikings.
I would say Bengals. Here's why. List the teams again.
Bengals 0-2, Patriots 0-2, Broncos now 0-2, and the Vikings are 0-2.
I didn't expect anything out of the Patriots and the Broncos, really, honestly, this year. Am I shocked they're 0-2? No. When I look at the Bengals, something is not right with the Bengals.
It's not.
Like, I don't know. Like, last year, there was this, they're not pushing the ball down the field. They're not hitting explosive plays. But it just doesn't seem like the Bengals are confident
No.
as an offense.
Lamar Jackson
Defensively-
outplayed Joe Burrow
Look,
yesterday.
yeah, he did. But like defensively, it comes and goes, right? In the
Mhm.
NFL, like sometimes it's just how it is. It's like in the NBA. But offensively, just when they go out there, nobody seems. I'm looking at their demeanor, like they seem defeated. Like there's some groups that go out there and they think to themselves, "I can't wait for what's about to go right." There's other groups that go out there and say, "I am scared to death something's going to go wrong."
Mhm.
Or what's going to go wrong. And it seems to me when the Bengals go out there, it's just the Jamar Chase connection with Joe Burrow doesn't seem to be there. They're not able to create running lanes really for Joe Mixon, which opens everything else up. You got T. Higgins, you got Tyler Boyd. Something is off with the Bengals. And I don't know if it's not like guys aren't trying hard. They're not. It's a lot of really talented players not playing up to their ability. And there's a reason for that. Something's going on. I don't know.
And the Chargers should have been on that list too. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, but like the Chargers,
the answer to that question is the Bengals,
Mhm.
right? Because how much do you really expect from the Broncos, Pats, and I don't expect anything from the Kirk Cousins Vikings. They have the same problem every year.
But they make the playoffs every year.
Yeah.
well, I think the Vikings
their
can
defense.
turn it around. Here's the real question. How long before the Jets call Minnesota? That's the real question. Hey, how's Kirk doing? We got a TJ Maxx here. I'm just telling you, don't be shocked.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked. Kirk Cousins ended up going to the Jets.
Well, I'm trying to think. So, what was the deal that was made for Aaron Rodgers? It was 65%.
65%. It becomes a first round pick. If under that, the Packers get a second round pick. So it's going to be under.
So the
It's out
Jets-
for the year.
So the Jets would keep a first-round pick.
No, the Packers would get a second round
round
pick
pick.
instead of a first, I believe.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. But now it's the Bengals. Answer is the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would be harder on the Bengals right now, except they kind of started this way last year. Looking at what are you guys doing? The offensive line's not playing well. Joe Burrow looks like a deer in headlights, and then all of a sudden they do figure it out throughout the year, and they go on a run. So I don't know if that's what we're going to see, but right now,
You know who they got next week?
who they play next week?
The Rams.
Where?
Probably at home. I would think.
At home.
Yeah. All right.
T. Higgins, change your number back. That might be the problem.
Yeah. You want to get to your MLB update? You want to go and hop on these calls?
Let's go on these calls.
Let's go on these calls.
We got people on the line
Let's
here.
go. Hey, we want to keep it somewhere around 30 seconds. One thing, we want to get everybody in. I have a problem of talking too much when we get on here with people because I just love interacting with people. But all right, David, who do we got?
We got Josh in North Carolina.
Here we go.
Josh, what's up?
Well, I'm in hell.
It's only Monday, Josh.
I know, dude. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah, my heart stopped beating Saturday night, and it's in trouble. But anyways, I'm gonna be very quick with the game. Oh, also one thing. I wanted to apologize. I had too many cold sodas. I was lighting y'all's Twitter up way too much.
Dude, that's all good. Never apologize.
You're in the trust tree.
Yeah, you're in the trust tree. Don't
It's
worry.
college football season.
Yeah, I went after Blaine's Achilles again. I don't know what my fascination about it is.
It's okay.
But, it's just something about it.
He's got that new.
Some people pay $10.99 a month for it. So
Yeah. Could be worse.
Very true. So anyways, my reaction to the whole game is, I like y'all said, Joe Milton wasn't the problem, but he definitely didn't help. Like y'all said, a couple throws underthrown. The interception wasn't good either. But then also the defense, where are you? Seriously, I don't know where it's at. I guess we left it in Knoxville. But yeah, and also the whole ref thing. I'm not blaming the loss on the refs, but there were definitely a couple of times where the refs just killed our momentum. Like
yeah, the kicking the ball thing was unfortunate.
That sucks.
That just sucks.
The kick of the ball.
That was the gods.
You put an S on that, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my thoughts, and hopefully we bounce back next week against UTSA at home.
Hey, you do get Georgia at home, and look, come on, Blaine. You never know. But look, I would not quit on Tennessee just yet.
Yeah, and also David Cohn. Well, what's your account and routing number? I'll send $1,000 today.
For what? Tell the people, Josh.
Yeah.
1,000 for what?
You gotta stop picking Tennessee.
Yeah.
I don't know what I have to do. Look,
I spoke to the wife.
I'll go mow your lawn.
I don't know if you heard. I have a segment. I don't want anyone on my lawn. All right, we do our own mowing over here. But
David just got a
I talked to the wife.
House,
I talked to the wife about
Tennessee
this
jersey.
because you said to not pick Tennessee in anything for the rest of my life. Look. Doing something in perpetuity, that's just $1,000 is too low for that. But 1,000 could probably get you a calendar year.
Yeah.
A calendar year. We can work.
You guys, you want to win the rest of them?
Yeah.
How bad do you want to win the rest of
I
them?
won't pick Tennessee for a calendar year. How bad do you want it? And Tennessee opponents, how bad y'all want it?
Yeah, good. Genius.
Love it.
Thanks, Walter.
Hey,
Thanks,
great
Josh.
call. Great
Appreciate
call.
it, man. All right, Jack down in Mobile.
Yep.
Hey.
Jack, please tell me you're calling from Bluegill right now.
Nah, not today.
I wish.
Of all the times I've called in, the Jack and Blaine back and forth, this is the most important week. It's put up or shut up week. Auburn, A&M, and my guts are in a knot. I still think we're going to win, but I don't know how yet.
Mm-hmm. Blaine, give me what one reason why Auburn beats A&M.
A&M gets COVID. The whole bus. The whole bus gets COVID on the way to the stadium.
They didn't wear their masks?
Dude, they get their 5th booster? Like, I don't know. You got to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get to Connor Wegman. You're going to have to touch him. You're going to have to touch him early. All right? Don't take that anywhere
Yeah.
it shouldn't be.
It's already there.
You have to touch
I wouldn't
his
phrase
soul.
it like that.
You have to
Touch
touch
him
his soul,
early.
and you got to touch him early. He has to know you're there. You're out there watching his family eat dinner. All right? He has to know you're there day in and day out.
I'm kind of getting worried about.
Like, we got to get the
Connor.
like, Peyton Thorne's got to use his wheels, and you got to pray, Jay. All right? You go home tonight, and you get on your knees,
Yeah.
you pray, because we're going to need it.
It's not that Auburn tends to play well in College Station. It's like one of those weird places, but it just there's so many deficiencies right now with Auburn. They're going to have to play daggum near perfect, and A&M's going to have to make a couple mistakes. Not that it can't happen. We've seen it before. Crazier, this is not the worst Auburn team that's gone into A&M and had a chance to win the game. So, Jack, we'll see, man. That's why you play the game. I think Auburn's kept a lot close to the vest. We'll see.
Jack, how's everything down the 251, man? Everything good? What's the weather like down there?
Probably all of it.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
Everything's good. Just the high school team I'm working with is 0-4, and we are struggling.
Hey,
Well,
that's
you know, in an alternate universe, you guys are 4-0. That's
Only one way to go, baby.
Good. Hey, Jack, good. Because that means there's room for improvement.
You got them right
Yes.
where you want them.
Right where you want
Where
them.
you want them.
Appreciate it,
Thanks, Jack.
Appreciate it, Jack.
All right, boys, I've been waiting on this call for 36 hours. Smoking Gator.
Come on, baby.
Down in Tampa.
Come on,
David,
baby.
what's up, man?
Talk yo ish.
Boys, as we speak right now, I'm sitting on my back porch smoking on that Tennessee Volunteer pack.
Oh,
God. He's fired up
Hey,
at the
light it
ball
up,
pack.
baby. Come on.
Tennessee fans, I tried to tell y'all, but y'all didn't want to listen.
Get 'em.
Y'all
Get
didn't
'em.
want to listen.
Get him.
And my quarterback, in which, by the way, Crane Company, I was going to roast you guys, but hey, you admitted you were wrong, so you were safe from my roast. But for everybody else, y'all doubted my quarterback all off season, called him trash, everything. What do you have to say now? Tennessee, listen, Tennessee. I respect you guys. I respect your culture and your tradition. But you know what else I respect? Facts. And fact is, we own you.
Godly.
Turn it.
I got to feel some
years.
more Tennessee fans are about to come
Turning
back.
the dagger.
Look, you're not beating Tennessee. Just not beating Florida in the swamp.
In the
Let's just
swamp,
be
man.
honest.
God.
Let's just be honest.
I wish there's just a guy on this set who picked Florida. You
There
know?
wa- okay.
Oh,
how many
wait.
yeah.
There it
Blaine,
is.
you did, Blaine.
You did.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you,
did.
Blaine.
You also picked Bama to go what?
I'd lose one game.
Okay.
On pace.
David. Well, look,
Dave.
you got rest of Florida's schedule.
Oh, rest of Florida's schedule. I got it right here in front of me, boys.
No, you don't.
You're always so prepared.
All
I
right,
got it
here we
right
go.
here. It's crazy.
Charlotte.
Hey, got it right
at
here.
Kentucky. Vanderbilt at South Carolina, Georgia neutral site, Arkansas. They get the bye the week before Georgia, by the way. Arkansas home, at LSU, at Missouri, and then Florida State. Ugh. It's rough, David.
Hey, needed that one at Tennessee.
He did that
what
one.
I
He
said,
did that one.
hey,
He did
you know why
that
this is a
one.
tough schedule? Because you play a lot of great teams. And if you're playing a lot of great teams, that means there's opportunities there to spoil someone else's season. Georgia's on there. LSU's on there. Florida State's on there. All of them have postseason
And
aspirations.
sometimes when you play a lot of great teams, it helps you become a great team.
There you go.
David?
Which they're already
No
a great
doubt.
program.
No doubt.
So,
Yeah, congratulations. I'm happy for Billy Napier. This is why, and David, you remember this. I said Florida fans need to be patient with Billy. Give him time. He's going to get it right. Everybody wanted to bury him, and now all of a sudden they want to, resurrect him. But I'm telling you, he's the right guy in the right place.
Yep.
Darn
Thanks, David.
right.
Appreciate
Smoking
it, man.
Gator,
Smoking
buddy.
Gator, baby.
Good call.
Enjoy it.
Talk to you next week. All right, Leroy in Alabama. Leroy, what's up?
Leroy Skyhook.
Leroy, bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
There you go.
Yeah, you got it.
You got it.
Get him out of there.
All right, I got to modify an Andy Bernard quote from The Office.
Oh, hit
Let's
us.
do it. The Nard Dog.
Oh, man.
Went to Cornell.
All right, Tennessee doesn't lose games. Okay, we win them. Or we quit them because they're not fair.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Man, how is it? Let me. I've seen a lot of people already. For some reason, it's amazing. This is just why fans short for fanatical. A lot of Tennessee fans jumping off the Josh Heupel train. Like all of a sudden,
Already?
Oh, dude.
Already?
I saw more Bobby
Oh.
Hill pictures on Twitter or X or whatever it's called. Like it just, again, at what point? Let me ask you this, Leroy. At what point? And we'll pull up Tennessee's schedule. Do you start hearing the calls for that backup freshman quarterback? Not that it was Joe Milton's fault, but just because these are how these things work.
I don't think you do. I mean, I think Joe Milton's probably he's the best option there.
Has
And
to
I
be
don't
right
think
now.
it was his fault.
No, I don't
Everybody
either.
failed in that game. I mean,
Yeah.
it was the defense failed. Joe Milton did average. I don't think he failed. He did average, but the coaching was absolutely awful. You call 2 timeouts on a drive and then only get 3 points out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that. But
No, and if
I'll
you're
let you
relying
guys
on
go so
Joe
y'all can get
Milton-
the other call.
Well, if you're relying on Joe Milton to go out there and win the Heisman every game for you to win games, that's not a good recipe for Tennessee. To me, I was more disappointed with the front seven on defense after I watched Utah shove Florida in a locker in front of all the cheerleaders in a high school hallway. Then in that game, get pushed around the way they did. I was very surprised.
Yes. Another thing, just to get off the Tennessee game too, I don't see an elite team. And I'm going to let you guys just talk about that for a minute. Do you guys see an elite team across all of college football? It looks like this is anybody's race.
No, I right now, nobody, you know that seems like we always have that one team we point to, like it's been Georgia recently, or it's been Alabama, or it's been another one saying, all right, everybody's chasing this team. Thanks, Leroy, for the call, by the way.
Great call.
Thanks, everybody's
Leroy.
chasing this team. Can anybody get good enough throughout the year or catch a break against them to be able to win it? We don't have that this year. And you know what? It's fantastic. But here's where it worries me. That we're having this year that's an anomaly, in my opinion, the same year that we're going to a 12-year playoff the next year, which is a very dangerous coincidence. Because I feel like this opens the door after this year for them to be able to say, oh, well, why don't we just go to 16 teams?
Yeah.
Or why don't we just go to 24 teams?
I mean, that
Tim Brando thinks they're already going to go to 16.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I think he's right.
The
down
first
road,
round bye, it's like they're going to be looking at teams sitting on the sidelines for a week and saying, why aren't we
Especially when
playing
they see
games
the
this
money
weekend?
come in on this 12 team.
But when you look
Wait,
at that
that's
top
money.
four, you got Texas and Florida State. They flip spots. Both of them have already played big-time games. But then at the top, Georgia and Michigan, great rosters, great teams, but we haven't seen them tested just yet. So throughout the season, that's why these separation Saturdays that start coming up are going to be more and more important. We definitely have one this weekend. The one I keep looking at is Oklahoma's all the way down at 16
I keep
right now.
telling you, man,
Oklahoma's
I figured out this weekend.
ranked 3 spots ahead of Colorado.
watched a couple of
if
their
this was a
games.
stock right now, if I'm just buying stocks, trying to buy low and then sell high, I'm looking at Oklahoma.
And I know they haven't played the toughest schedule, but when I watch them, defense-wise, they're athletic now.
Even
That's-
Oregon at 10, I think is a little low, but we'll get into our top 10s and all that stuff. But Leroy, we appreciate it, man.
Great call, Leroy.
And as far as the Josh Heupel, look, if you don't want to fire your coach and give him a contract extension in the same quarter, are you really a college football fan?
That's exactly right.
You know
You're
what I
not.
mean?
That's very true.
Hey, Mike in Colorado. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, morning, boys.
Good morning, Mike.
I'm calling.
Hey, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Horses
Another 3-0.
field.
3-0.
Cool. That's right. And of
Really
course
wish y'all had
he's on
covered,
the
though.
field. So Colorado State's always going to give us the best shot. There are people out here. You went to one of 2 schools, and there's one school that hates Colorado with swag, and that's Colorado State. It drives them crazy.
The ugly
We have a good
cousin, huh?
team and
Yeah.
All
Are they
the
like
hype, absolutely.
they're the ugly sister?
They're the cousin with purple hair.
Yeah.
Exactly. The one,
Yeah.
it's a they-them type of cousin situation. Anyway, we got Oregon coming up. I think we're ready to make a statement, but I think I've solved the rest of Colorado's football problems. In the 2024 draft, with the 10th pick, the Broncos select Shadur Sanders.
Really?
Is he going this year?
He could.
Coach
I don't know
Prime's
that
not
well.
going anywhere if his son's
No,
playing
not
down-
Prime.
down
Yeah,
the
I don't
street.
think Shadur. If Shadur's smart, he's going to wait and go next year. The amount of quarterbacks that are going to go in the draft.
Yeah, well, the way the Broncos are falling apart in the second half, so it may not be a bad idea.
Not only with how many great quarterbacks are coming out this year, but think about traditionally, you've been like, well, if I'm a first-round pick or a second-round pick, you have to go. Now with NIL and his last name, like he's going to be the highest
Yeah, he
NIL
ain't.
getter next year, which beats a
He'll be
rookie
the Caleb
contract
Williams
a lot
of
of
next
times.
year. He'll
Yeah.
be the Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
of
I
next
don't think NIL with that fan like that. That's not even. Who cares? I mean, you're a Deion Sanders kid. I mean, you can go work at 7-Eleven and be a millionaire. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, it's his.
Well,
money.
that's-
I mean, you're getting $4 million a
Coach
year,
Prime.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what would the
But-
rookie deal be?
I mean,
Right. Yeah.
It's
he's
just-
gonna
I think
take
it's-
a pay cut to go to the NFL.
for sure. Kind of like Cam Newton.
Right.
But
then we're not
my-
worried
We should all
about
admit it now.
allegedly.
You are admitting it.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
You heard that?
Allegedly.
Whoa.
2010 championship banners
No.
taken down.
Here's where I brag about it. 180,000? Steal.
Allegedly.
Talk about buying low.
Steal. He'd have been worth 180
They
million.
put that Scam Newton jersey on that Bear Bryant statue.
Yeah,
down
if
there,
you
boy.
think we only gave
man.
Cam 180K, I can show you a beachfront property in Kansas.
Yeah, Mike, let me get your prediction. Oregon, Colorado, score.
I think they keep it competitive through the first half, kind of surprise everybody, but I just don't think that we have the depth in the second half. I'd say something like 42-23 or something like that.
God,
But
smart
then they're ready
caller
for the
here.
next week.
Yeah.
again.
Smart
Mike,
caller.
that makes that's a
realistic
19 and a
fan.
half. Wait, 19 and a half point spread. 42-23, 19 points.
Mike.
Mike knows
you're
what's
dancing
going on.
around the
But
right fire.
Our Colorado
Colorado
correspondent?
Our Colorado.
But if
Our Buffalo
Colorado,
buddy?
if Colorado shocks the world and wins this game, I want you calling in next week saying you told everyone so.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll cut this call.
Yeah. You said Joe Montana.
Yeah, I said Joe Montana.
I think we're ready for USC, though. We're ready for USC.
I'm ready for
You're
the
ready
over.
for USC more than almost any big elite team you
I
have
agree
on
with
that schedule.
I agree. USC and Washington, I think, would be too.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Mike.
Great
call, man.
Great call.
Thanks,
Great call. All right. We got Connor in Dallas. Connor, what's up?
Con man.
Hey, boys. Calling in from Dallas, but from BYU. And,
Nice.
really enjoyed the show. Thanks for having me on, answering this question. Do you guys see BYU, now that they beat Arkansas, being able to contend for the Big 12 championship?
Yeah. Well, first off, Connor, thanks for calling in, man. We got a lot of love for the BYU fan base. I always enjoy going on the radio out there. I think Benjamin Criddle and all did a really good job. I'll say this. We got asked before the season, which team could make an immediate impact that's brand new in the Big 12, and which team are you buying in the long term? And I think our consensus answer was BYU.
I think it's BYU, UCF.
BYU or UCF, and then long term was Houston. What was the one that I had? What I saw from BYU, it surprised me. And look, anytime you have the week before a big game, the Sam Houston game was ugly. BYU hadn't looked great. Slovis hadn't looked great. But when they got down 14-0, I think you saw this team kind of really rally together. I saw Keaton really pick it up. I saw the physicality pick up. I think this year, after this win, with the confidence they have, do not be surprised. And let's pull up their schedule real quick. I would not be surprised, like we were for the year, if BYU ended up not having the best, first year in the Big 12 between Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and them, because I do think they have a couple more pieces. And I tell you what a great look for BYU for Puka Nacua to be doing what he's doing for the Rams. Like, what a good look for BYU. And then Slovis, we know, is going to get drafted. Not that BYU doesn't have players go to the NFL, but it's a nice lineage. I tell you what, you always have some big white tree that makes a bunch of big plays for the game, and that's what happened against Arkansas out there, making one-handed catches. Looked like Buddy the Elf compared to the rest of the elves up in the North Pole. But what's the rest of BYU?
So I got the schedule right here. So they go to Kansas.
Yep.
This weekend. That's not going to be an easy game. You have Cincinnati at home.
It's a win.
Then you go to TCU. You have Texas Tech at home.
It's winnable.
Then you go to Texas. You go to West Virginia. You have Iowa State at home, Oklahoma at home, and you end the year at Oklahoma State.
BYU is going to win a couple games that they shouldn't.
Yeah, I got them going bowling.
Yeah. I think and two, it's not just, and I don't want this to come off as a moral victory thing because we're not about that here, but I think BYU is going to put up a fight with the big dogs more in the Big 12 than some of these other new teams will. Because, again, I saw it up front. That's where I had to see it for BYU. I know you guys have some skill players that can play. I know who Keaton is. But up front, watching the way you guys responded to taking a couple punches early in a very hostile environment in Fayetteville. So, yes, my answer is yes, Connor.
Appreciate it, Connor. Thanks,
call,
man.
Connor.
Hey, call in again, man.
All right. On the other side of that game was Arkansas, and we got Hunter on the line from Arkansas. Hunter, what's up, man?
All right, I got to give BYU credit. They won a good game. I always follow the Jake rule of stop scheduling religions.
I don't know why you would do that. Never triple option teams, like talk about non-conference. I don't care how bad they are. I don't care if it's Bishop Sycamore. I'm not scheduling them. Never scheduling a team that's based on a religion. Nobody fights longer and harder than those guys. And then the third one is I'm not going to play you on a neutral site in your state. That's not neutral to me. I'm not playing Florida State in a neutral site game in Tampa or Orlando. I'm not playing if I'm Florida State in New Orleans in a neutral site game against LSU. No, it's your house. We may be in the backyard, but it's still your house.
Mm-hmm. Now with Arkansas fans, I don't know if it's just SEC or if it's just fanaticals or what, but the amount of people who I saw on Twitter that were calling for everybody on the coaching staff's head. I'm like, can we relax? We did the same stuff last year with Kendall Briles when he was doing 3rd and 15 quarterback draw plays, but also on a 4th and like a half a Subway sandwich, you decided to do a shotgun halfback draw instead of putting Cam Newton 3.0 just to put his big body across that yard.
Yeah, well, it's funny you bring that up, Hunter, because when we interviewed Sam Pittman at SEC Media Days, we talked about trying to keep KJ healthy, throughout the whole year. And he was like, yeah, we're going to make some adjustments with that, but when it's 4th and 1 and 3rd and 1 in big moments, we're going to give our best player the ball. Not only did you not do that, your other best player, Rocket Sanders, is out. Mm-hmm. And so you didn't give it to one of your top 2 players to go do it. KJ Jefferson, you snap the ball, fall forward, you get the first down.
I don't know if maybe we just need to send a message out to all the coaches who coach football in general. Guys, if it's 4th and 1 or it's 4th and inches, get your ass under center and sneak the ball. It's almost impossible to stop.
And now you can push them.
Yeah.
Like, here's my problem. We sit here and say, oh, we're going to give this quarterback RPOs. We're going to call plays where he's going to run. We're going to give him the ability to scramble to throw on the run. But we don't believe he's athletic enough to be able to go under center and take a snap because he might fumble it. And it's not, David, and you guys know this, pre-practice, work it 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day. Have it in team. Have a little bit in goal line. Just work it a little bit a day. You don't have to sit there and do it for 3 hours or change the whole offense. Work on taking snaps. I mean, nobody's saying it's as easy as look, taking a snap in a gun isn't easy either when you're having to keep your eyes, trying to see what's going on. Like, that is one of my biggest pet peeves. It just blows my mind.
When you get in the shotgun on 4th and 1, it's 4th and 6.
Yep.
It's not 4th and 1 anymore. It's 4th and 6. And this whole thing about you don't even have to have KJ Jefferson or Cam Newton. The greatest quarterback sneaker is Tom Brady of all time. Watch him get every single one he ever tried for. He's one of the least quintessential athletic quarterbacks that you would say. And he got every one at a time when you couldn't even push the quarterback because he was smart about it and he picked the right, gaps and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's one of my pet peeves as well. 4th and 6 is what you're looking at.
And can you imagine being Hunter and you have KJ Jefferson at quarterback? You have a bridge troll at quarterback.
I'm losing my mind.
One, he doesn't even get the ball. And 2, you don't sneak it?
Yeah. I'm losing my mind.
Stupid.
Yeah, I was literally just Jalen Hurts it. Just do a quarterback sneak like that. I literally said to my dad, that's what they're about to do. And then I was seeing them lined up in shotgun.
Well, yeah, you don't have to be Bill Parcells.
You could get my bum ass in there and sneak it. I could probably get a first down.
It just blows my mind. It blows my mind, Hunter. I agree. But hey,
maybe pre-Achilles tear. You could do that.
That'd be one hell of a leg. Hey, got to regroup. Going down to Baton Rouge this weekend.
Yeah.
They're a lot more confident down there than they were. Jay Daniels out of here just dropping balls out of
You'll be good, though, Hunter. Long year, baby.
Long year.
We're here fighting with you.
Thanks, Hunter.
Guys.
Appreciate it,
man. Cheer up.
All right, boys. We got Steve in Ohio. Steve, what's up, man?
Stevie.
Hey.
What's up, dude?
I'm not going to do trivia since you guys don't have a lot of time. All I'm going to ask for is, can Ohio State get some love? I don't think I've heard you guys talk about Ohio State today or yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they look, I watched that whole game. I should have took the over in that game. I'm such an idiot for taking the over in Old Dominion and Wake compared to not taking the Ohio State game. More because I think Austin Reed and Western Kentucky, I think that offense is pretty prolific. Look, they look good. My biggest question with Ohio State, look, I'm watching Marvin Harrison, Nick Buka, and all these guys run wide open. I thought the run game looked good against Western Kentucky. It's hard for me to judge right now. We're going to know this weekend. We're going to have a huge preview of Ohio State.
Yeah, you want to get talked about? Now here's what you need to go do is play a team like this.
Yeah, like it's Western Kentucky. You beat them like you were supposed to. But I thought maybe the biggest positive is that the run game looked they looked fresher. The backs looked fresher than what I'd seen all year. They looked a little more explosive. But now's your chance. I mean, Ohio State's schedule, we're about to find out.
It's not just the Buckeyes either. I mean, Michigan, Southern California, these schools, you're not going to get talked about unless you're going to go play big time games. We got Alabama and Texas sitting here playing in the non-conference, LSU, FSU playing. So this is one of those ones where it's okay, now you go on the road to Notre Dame to complete the second half of that home and home. This is the kind of game we need in a year where Notre Dame's really good. Sam Hartman transfer over. This is why we're calling this Separation Saturday. Yeah. This is the marquee game of this.
Kyle McCord if he balls out, can insert himself into the Heisman race if he has a big game this week.
Really? You think so?
I really think if he balls out. Now, do I think he will? You're going to have to find out and tune into Crane.
Because that's where I think
tomorrow.
Sam Hartman can maybe start to take
I think
some
Sam's
of the
already in
reins.
there, right? Like, don't you think
there's
just with
so
name
many.
cachet?
There's so many ones right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's some prolific offenses. But hey, Steve, we're going to have a whole preview of these games. I mean, this slate is absolutely incredible this weekend. I mean, you've got Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Ole Miss, Auburn, A&M, Oregon State, Washington
Clemson,
State,
FSU.
Clemson, Florida State. I mean, I can go through Utah,
UCLA.
Oklahoma, even at Cincinnati. Interested to see that one after Cincinnati lost to the Red Hawks of my
Washington State, Oregon State.
Oregon State's another one I'm really excited about. So it's going to be a hell of a weekend, Steve. Lock it in.
Well, I think that Ohio State finally decided to show up on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. Well, look, you can tell
a game like this.
Yeah, you needed that dominant win, to keep getting those 2 new tackles and that new center some confidence. So, but again, it's a good stepping stone into what is going to be an absolute fist fight this Saturday with the Fighting Irish. And I'm so Jackson Tan about it.
I think it couldn't have come at a better time. Just right before you get ready to play in Notre Dame, they finally decided to show up.
Without
I
a
think
doubt.
they're ready.
I think they are too, Steve.
Yes,
We're
it's
going
gonna
to
help
find
again.
out. We got a preview and prediction for you
Appreciate
tomorrow.
the call, Stevie.
Thanks,
man.
Stevie.
See ya.
Roger that. Thanks.
All right, buddy. All right, let's get to the Booster Club.
Let's go to Ryan Gade with a $10 donation. Appreciate it, Ryan E. The backyard brawl was great. Electric atmosphere. Kind of ugly, but Neil admitted he threw out the playbook when our starter went out. But it's a dub. I sang Country Roads at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, nice win for Neil Brown. Glad to see West Virginia doing well in a year where Neil wins it. Pitt's now what? 1-2. Pitt's 1-2. I had him 3-9 on the year. Caught more hell from Pitt fans than from Florida fans and even South Carolina fans with the predictions of Narduzzi of them struggling this year. We'll see. Long way to go.
Country Road.
All right, what else we got?
Mike RFF, lifestyle, baby. $5 donation. Appreciate it. Good seeing you in here, Mikey. Happy Monday to you, sir. Start bench cut. After summarizing week 3, which college/NFL teams would you hire, retire, and fire? And congrats to Thigala. Congrats to Thigala for I don't know what it is, but congrats.
Congrats.
That's the god of Eagles.
Thigala. Theegala.
No idea.
No idea. So which 3 teams would you hire, college/NFL, hire, retire, and fire?
Oh, just in general?
Yeah.
Team would I hire?
Mm-hmm.
Georgia. Which
A
team?
little open-ended here, Mike.
Yeah, which team would I fire? Oh man, I don't know. Probably the camera crew from ESPN that wouldn't get back and give me a good view of the South Florida Alabama game after everybody else was.
Yeah, I saw someone put a Twitter picture of Bill Belichick with the glasses saying watching.
Yeah,
the game.
retire.
Well, apparently they can't do that because like a storm comes in, they can only use certain cameras.
Yeah, well, I'm like they're letting other people back in the stadium, and the players are out there running around with helmets on and stuff. So what? They're just like, y'all just more important than everybody.
I guess. Let's go to Angelo DeRayman with a $10 donation. Appreciate it, Angelo. Wanted to say thank you. I had several debates this weekend and feel like I'm winning the water cooler.
You are.
Win that water cooler.
It's funny debating in my fantasy chat. You can tell they all watch the 4-letter network. Tear them up, Angelo.
Yeah.
I love that. Also, Thigala shot 21 under.
Oh, the golfer.
The golfer.
That's right.
Sorry, I was like watching.
I thought he meant to say
like,
the Eagles. I thought it was just like an autocorrect.
like watching football and stuff. My bad. All right, let's go to. Get to the. I don't have enough time. Let's go to 2R3. Not good as one. $2 donation. Are you bringing back Matt Moscona this week?
Oh, what? We need to get this scone back.
Yeah, let's get him back on.
Get the scone back.
I don't know. He's a traitor. Let's go to Ken Johnson. $5 donation. Thanks, Ken. How about that? How about that Cardinals tank? Broken hearts all around. Thankful for Auburn at least.
Hey, look, if you're a Cardinals fan, you really won.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, let's be honest. Like, what are you going to do? Beat the Giants and then go win the Super Bowl?
Also,
I think somebody made the call.
A couple things here. Major League Baseball, we talked about.
Yep.
Shohei Ohtani shut down for the season now. He was going to just hit.
Where's he going, David?
I don't know. You tell me.
Braves?
You tell me. Not Pinstripes. No, not Braves. We don't need him.
You're right.
We're good.
Shohei.
Solid. And then Red Sox fired their general manager. Look, Jeff in the control room is distraught.
Yeah,
Is
Jeff,
he?
y'all
Is
suck.
He says it's the owner's fault.
It's
not
always the
GM's
owner's fault.
He
You're
says
the
not
owner.
on the GM. They stopped spending money.
Like, if
Losers.
What? You love the Red Sox. There's a sign right behind you over there.
I didn't put that there.
You got Red Sox stuff all around you. All right, bets from tonight. Good weekend, fellas.
Yeah.
Green once again. I'm all over the Saints. I don't know why I just stuttered. I'm gonna need to figure out how to talk. Here's what I got. Saints -2.5.
Love it.
I hate 3.5. I hate 3.5. -133 against the Panthers. Then I'm taking the Saints TTP.
Yeah, you know me.
Down with TTP over 20.5 points. You're supposed to say it again.
No, you do it once.
No, okay.
It hits harder.
I started it. I'll tell you.
It hits harder when you do it once.
Oh, okay. All right. Saints TTP over 20.5 points -112.
Yeah, you know me.
Look, I'm trailing you right there, except I'm going to parlay these things. I want Saints money line plus their TTP over 19.5.
You know me.
Plus 105. Thank you.
Yep.
And then how about Jamal Williams? Anytime touchdown
Come on,
plus
man.
115. Got him on my fantasy team. Let's score.
All right, I'm going Saints money line -160 because I just something feels weird about this game. Give me the Saints Panthers under 41.5 because I'm overcorrecting after the Dolphins. I took the over, and I'm going to take the under. So
Smart.
Right.
Ace, he's going to take the Browns -2. I'm just not betting on this game. The Browns, I refuse to do it. That's at -110. Then he's going to stick with the Browns Pittsburgh under 38, which is probably a guarantee at -110, at least with what we saw last week. Even though the Browns played well, nasty weather against the Bengals.
Yep.
Problems right now. All right, quickly.
Quickly, Bro Ben, $5 donation. Getting Monday to you, gentlemen. Monday to you, sir. Go Gators. Go Cowboys. Thank y'all for what y'all do. 2 questions. The Ravens are for real, and Oregon State really that good?
Yes and yes. I believe in the Ravens because they have Lamar Jackson. Like, it's real. Winning the Super Bowl, no, but I think they look a lot better than they did week 1. I promise you that.
Colson Duggins, $2 donation. I hope Florida loses every other game this season. All right, Voltar, $5 donation. I'll get these quickly. Gators fans, they think they're winning a national championship this year. Like my buddy said, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Congrats.
Your buddy's blind?
Congrats, losers. I added the losers part. Let's go. Poll. Who would you start at quarterback? Jalen Milroe, Ty Simpson, Tyler Buckner, or Uncle Rico?
Oh.
God, I want to say Uncle Rico, but I'm going to go Jalen Milroe, 41.
There's no way you put that in there and they didn't smash that button. Uncle Rico.
Ty Simpson, 6%. Tyler Buckner, 5%. Jalen Milroe, 45%. Uncle Rico, 45%.
Wow.
He's competing.
He can throw it over the mountain.
Competing, baby.
He can throw a ball over the mountain. All right, we appreciate you guys. Great calls. We got live calls tomorrow. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Booster Club's fantastic. Got a ton to talk about. Tomorrow we're going to drop our...
late vote. Uncle Rico won 45%.
There he goes. Wow. We're going to do our top 10 power ranking for college football coming out tomorrow. Very excited about that. We're going to preview all the big slate this weekend, update you on the NFL, some big injuries as well. We're getting close to the playoffs in Major League Baseball. It's just an absolute great time of year. And the NHL's about to start.
The smorgasbord of sports.
Cool. Yeah, you said it right that time. We appreciate you guys. And like the chances...
You want to catch it?
Joe Milton win the Heisman. We're going.
Oh, he blew it.
Gone.